Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips. This is part 2 of the dead Harrier that I bought that wasn't actually dead, but what we did find inside was a Tonks midband board and a whole heap of mess of wiring of some circuitry that was supposed to fool people to think it was a straight 40. So in this episode we're going to be removing all this circuitry and getting it ready to be put back to standard. So we're taking the front off, everything looks good under the front. Speaker wire fell off, but never mind. There's our Tonks midband board and a whole heap of wiring, switches and all sorts of nastiness. So we'll start off by removing the IC socket on the Tonks board. This is made nice and easy with my vacuum desoldering gun. And the ribbon cable comes out quite nicely. Now we just need to start fishing out the rest of this wires and this epoxy blob. Now after I made this video I did try and get into that epoxy blob, but it was like concrete. There was no way I could get into it, so it went in the bin. To me it just looks like a capacitor, and I don't know, maybe there's some other circuitry in there, but there can't be a lot. But anyway, somebody's wired up the Delta Tune switch, so maybe in a future video we'll restore the Delta Tune switch back to its former glory. There's a Delta Tune out. And we've just got to address these two epoxidine switches now. So one of them come off quite easily, we're just whacking with a screwdriver, but there's still more wires. So next thing, let's try and get this relay out. And this was really hard to get out. Somebody had really epoxied this in. So I had to get brutal with it, and it come out eventually. Somebody's obviously gone to a lot of time and effort to put this thing in there. Maybe back in the day this was the thing where, you know, you could hide that you got a midband modification, but you know, it only takes the top to be taken off and you'll see this. Anyway, let's get rid of the power connectors to this weird board. I had to remove the extension speaker and PA speaker sockets just to make it a bit easier. And another switch that needs to come off. See, these things are glued in unbelievably strong, but then again a little bit more whacking off camera and off it comes. So it's starting to come apart slowly but surely. And that's the Tonks board out. Looks like it's the last revision board. Date code 888. Very nice. now just to get rid of all this. So hopefully now we've got rid of the Tonks board, this should just start to come away. And I think I'm just past caring now, so just snip it. And this weird piece of metalwork on the back can come out. There, it's looking a bit better already. Apart from that modification, there's been a bit of work on the audio amp, but everything else seems to be fine. And there's the remains of what I took out. And like I say, I tried to get into that block, but there was no chance. And whilst I was in there, I did notice the variable capacitor for the TX VCO looked like it had been mutilated a little bit, so I replaced it with a new one. So what's next for this radio? Well, this radio is currently my test bed for my other projects. So once I've finished testing my Arduino mod and my PIC mod, then we'll get back to this and we'll restore it back to its former glory. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want, you can join my Patreon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.